When the website isn't quite converting, when no one's clicking on your ads, when the landing page just isn't getting the emails, when the cold emails aren't getting any responses, I don't look at any of those specific things. I don't look at whether the website is pretty. It doesn't matter. I don't look at whether the ad is too small, too short, or too long. I don't look at that. I don't look at whether the cold email has the meme that makes you laugh or not. None of those things matter. What matters is this one thing. What matters the most is your value proposition. Your value proposition is at the heart of all your go-to-market activities. If you nail your value proposition, everything else starts to work. If you ignore it, skip over it, don't get it right, don't craft it in the right way, you can run all those go-to-market activities, but none of them will actually succeed, and you won't know why. So in this episode, I'm gonna walk you through a crash course on actually how to craft your value proposition, stress test it, and make sure you don't make the biggest mistakes. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. If you are new to this channel, welcome. I drop an episode like this 2 to 3 times a week to help you grow your SaaS businesses faster. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. If you're already part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching program, if you're part of this community, welcome back. It's so awesome to see you over here. When ToutApp first started, this was my last SaaS business, we positioned ourselves as an email tool for business users, for power business users. Needless to say, that didn't work. The moment we recrafted our value proposition to be about salespeople, to help them actually send emails around email productivity for salespeople and to close more deals, everything started to change. And the minute we actually put attention on our value proposition, our website, our ads, our cold emails, our cold calls, everything shifted along with that value proposition, and we started to grow faster. That is the power of a value proposition. Now, here's the problem. Everyone thinks they know what a value proposition is. Everyone thinks they have one. People graze over it and they go on to all the other go-to-market activities. And then when they don't work, they're like, I don't know what's wrong. So in this video, I'm gonna give you a crash course on how to craft your value proposition and avoid the biggest mistakes, because that's what I focus on every single time I'm diagnosing a SaaS business. So if you're excited to dig in, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's go into principle number 1. So principle number 1 is you gotta think about the thing about the thing. Let me explain. Whenever I'm talking to a founder and I've made this same mistake, I'm like, all right, what do you guys do that's so different in the market? And almost immediately, they start devolving into a feature discussion. It's like, well, TK, we have this export feature where it integrates with this platform and it syncs it automatically. And because of that, and I'm like already lost and I already know why customers are getting confused. What you have to do is before you start getting into all the nitty-gritty features, which are important to differentiate in the market, when you're crafting your value proposition, you have to take a step back and think about the thing about the thing. This is your thing. That's the software. And your users say, I use the thing, the software, so that I can blank. Blank being the key result that they really care about and they probably get paid for. It's part of their compensation plan. If you're gonna craft a really effective value proposition, you need to forget the features for a second, you need to forget the nitty-gritties for a second, you need to forget about you for a second, and think about your ideal customer. And think about what is the core result that they're really getting when they're using your software. By the time they're done with their software and they're going home, what have they accomplished? What have they achieved that aligns with their compensation plan? That alone, if you can start to hone in on that, a lot of other pieces around your value proposition is gonna start to become a lot more apparent. As an extension of principle number 1, I always get founders to think about, well, what is your 1-sentence value proposition? So here's a template I like to use, and I've used different versions of it. I work at blank, that's the company name. We build software, we all build software to help blank, that's your ICP, blank, which is the result, using blank, which is your differentiation. So as an example, right, let me give you an example around it because I know there's a lot, and you can rewind this video if you want to watch this part again. Here's an example for ToutApp. I work at ToutApp. We build software to help salespeople generate more pipeline using email automation. So this value proposition would have worked fine 10, 11 years ago when we first came out because it was Very clear. The name of the company was there. We helped salespeople to generate pipeline. All of that is still true today. Except back then, email automation was very special. It was very different. It wasn't quite, marketers had it, but salespeople didn't have it. So as soon as we said email automation, everyone got super excited. Fast forward today, there's multiple companies in the space. There's a new sales engagement product being born every single week. Everyone's starting one. I don't know why. And so just saying, hey, we're sales engagement or we do email automation is not enough of a differentiator. So you can start to see what the key blanks are, right? So if you can answer this and fit it into an actual index card, then you're starting to get into a real value proposition. The name of the company, that's easy. Your ICP, that should be easy. What is the core result that you get? What do they get paid for that you actually help enable using your differentiator? What is the big thing that's different about your software versus everyone else? This simple sentence can actually help you craft a very straightforward value proposition. In fact, if you can fit it into an index card, you're gonna be better off because it forces you to be succinct, right? So that's principle number one. Get your head out of the software and the features and all those things. Start thinking about the result and the differentiator. Those are the two big levers that you have, along with your company name and your ICP. Once you have that, then you need to start to stress test this. I see a lot of founders that have developed their value prop and they're like, yep, here's my sentence, I got it. And I was talking to a founder, in fact today, and they create software for a very specific niche industry. And their value prop was like, we are software, this is our name. We create software to help you generate more revenues. And I'm like, that's great. Everyone, like you could be a marketing agency, you could be a PR firm. All of them can claim that value prop. That's not specific enough. You have to get a lot more specific. You'll notice over here, where we got pretty specific on saying generate more pipeline. In the early mid days of ToutUp, we would just say close more deals, which was pretty good, but wasn't specific enough. Later on, as the space evolved, it became very clear there was much more about pipeline. So principle number two, as you're filling out that sentence, as you're crafting your value proposition, you should avoid being vague. You should avoid being high level. You should think about what is the specific result that your software is really driving for your ICP. Growth is a great thing. It's a permanent pain. It's a good thing to have and to align to, but it's not enough. If you double click on growth, what is the specific thing they're looking to get to, the specific result that's gonna enable growth? If you can do that. For us, it was pipeline. Pipeline enables growth, it enables you to make more money, so it's communicated, but we get specific. So you can start to think about like, well, what are we doing around pipeline? And are we using email automation? And it gets you to think about, well, is there something different over here? So being very specific in this last line over here around email automation and your core result here is super, super important. Now, let me pause here for a second. I have one more principle and I have a couple of other things that you can tack onto this. Let me just pause here for a second. Think about this sentence. If you have clarity into the result that you're doing, that you're delivering, and the differentiation that you have, and you can fit it in this sentence, can you start to see, if you get clarity on this and you really do the research around what these words should be in those blanks, can you start to see how you would craft things differently in your current homepage? Can you start to see how your cold email might look very different, the subject line of it or the value prop inside of it? Can you start to see how your ads might completely change? Can you start to see the power of how this simple sentence, this simple thing called a value proposition, feeds into all these other really hard things that you're doing? And can you start to see how if you nail the value proposition, it rises all tides and it actually helps you accelerate everything else that you're doing? And can you start to see how if you don't get this right, if you start to get obsessed around the features, if you are actually being vague, then your homepage, your landing page, your emails, your ads, none of those are gonna work. If you can start to see the power of that, can I just get a yes in the comments below? Also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really likes it when you do that. Now, if you're figuring this stuff out, I have one more principle for you, but before I do, I also wanna tell you, I have my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. The big thing we do inside of this coaching program is develop the strategy around your go-to-market, your positioning, your messaging, your value proposition, your strategic narrative. This is all stuff that gets grazed over. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this video. I have one more principle for you, but if you are navigating this path right now, you should check out the program because it's the cheat codes to actually develop your overall go-to-market strategy. So principle number 3, back to is it or are you differentiated? This is super important. It goes back to a point I made earlier on when I was starting. 10 years ago, this was pretty differentiated. Most sales teams weren't using email automation. They still had a pipeline problem, and salespeople really needed to generate pipeline. It would have been differentiated. Fast forward today, there's so many email automation tools. Every sales team uses it. It's baked into HubSpot, there's SalesLoft, there's Outreach, and there's a new one that's coming out every week. So it's not differentiated anymore. And so you have to ask yourself the value in the value proposition that you're crafting compared to the competitors that are out there, what is the differentiated piece around your software? Because if you call up someone now or you run an ad right now, people already know. They're gonna be like, yeah, we already have a sales engagement tool. We're good. So all of a sudden you have to think about new ways of differentiating. So let's just say you start a new sales engagement tool. How could you differentiate? Well, here's some ways that companies tend to differentiate in the SaaS space. Number 1, you can say it's simpler. You can say, look, sales engagement has gotten way too complicated. We're the simple one. We're the simplest way where you get started, you can run a campaign really quickly. You could also say we are enterprise grade, meaning, look, there's the rest of them. We're the only ones that are enterprise grade. And you can do all the things that are hard that are associated with that. You could also say we're the most secure. You can say, you know what, those other guys are not secure. Maybe this is relevant for your space. We're the most secure. In fact, we do these 5 things to actually secure ourselves even more. And that could differentiate you. You could also say we're premium. We're the most expensive. We're the most expensive, and there's a reason for it. We're the most premium platform. It comes with white glove service. We actually craft your emails for you. We do email audits. You could do all kinds of things like that and say we're the most premium. Are you guys starting to see this? So it's not enough that you have the key result that ties to the compensation plan. It's not enough that you craft it into a really nifty sentence. You also need to make sure it's very specific and it's differentiated. When you start to put all these things together, it's almost like a puzzle and it clicks. That's when you have a really powerful value proposition. When you have a really powerful value proposition, you can then feed that into your landing page, your ads, your cold emails, everything else you're doing for your go-to-market strategy, for your go-to-market machine, and it will increase the conversion rates. If you don't nail all these things, then it'll hurt the conversion rates. And you might be looking at, well, you know what? I bet it's because the landing page is not pretty. Let's go hire a design. It's not any of those things. It's probably your value proposition. So that's what I had for you today. Those are my principles. To recap, shift your mindset, think about the thing, craft your value proposition into a template like this for starters. You'll get 80% there. Be very specific about the result that you are delivering and how you're delivering it. And also focus on differentiating from the competition in the market using very specific levers. Those are the key things you can do to actually craft your value proposition. When you do, you'll be able to accelerate your growth and the effectiveness of the rest of your go-to-market strategy. Now, if you got value from this video, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, but I have something more important for you. If you're getting tired of watching more and more and more YouTube videos, I know there's so many out there on value proposition, on positioning, on messaging, on go-to-market strategy, on all of these things. If you're getting a little bit tired and you're in that phase where you're like, I gotta get my go-to-market strategy working, I gotta get growth going, I need to make sure my positioning is right, I need to make sure I'm doing outbound, inbound, all these pieces right, and you want a framework to follow, this is exactly why I created my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. Inside of my coaching program, I help give you a framework on exactly how to craft your go-to-market strategy. I coach you through it. I give you the metrics to measure. I give you the templates so that you can effectively craft and execute on a scalable go-to-market machine. If you're interested in that, I invite you to set up a call with me. We can get on a one-on-one strategy call. We can talk through where you are in your SaaS business, where you're looking to get to, if my framework and my program can help, and if it can, and then I'll tell you all about it, and I'll invite you to join. To set up this call, just go to tkcater.com/GTM. tkcater.com/GTM. There's a page where I give you all the details on my program, and you fill out a few form fields, and you'll be able to book a call with me. And on the call, we can dig into where you are in the company, what's holding you back, and how to actually accelerate your growth. Just go to tkcater.com/GTM. So let's close out from here. That's all I have for you today. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, be sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. If you are new and you haven't subscribed yet, I drop a video like this with actionable strategies to grow your SaaS business 2 to 3 times a week. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon, that way you'll get notified. If you have a fellow founder, if you're part of a Slack group or a WhatsApp group, if you have a team member that could get value from my channel in this video, please share it with them. It'll mean the world to me and my team. We put a lot of love into these videos. And lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is gonna be unstoppable. I'm TK. I'll see you in the next episode.